But we're looking at each other because here with Eddie Patzsch of PartnerPortal.io. Eddie, welcome to SaaS Connect.
Yeah, good to chat. Congrats on your launch today.
Thank you so much. It's
Yeah,
been great. We've had like 1,000 plus people already on the site
amazing.
in the first few hours. So
That's awesome.
yeah,
super
uh,
great.
I want to kick things off because I was walking past the PartnerPortal.io booth and it says keep it simple, and I'm like, wait a second. There is nothing about partnerships that is simple. So like, why take that approach?
No, I mean it's absolutely true. It's not partnerships are not simple. Um, but however, the vent like when you look at the technology landscape of managing your partnerships, it has gotten to a point where it's just overly complex and it's cumbersome. It's
Did you read the manifesto yet?
I've not read them. I've
There's a
not.
phrase in there where I say the best lessons in life are simple, not easy, but partnerships are complex, not difficult.
There you go. No, I got to get in the manifesto. Yeah, I haven't. I've not had a chance yet.
Which is, you mentioned two phrases. I'm like, yeah, actually, I totally agree with what you're saying.
Yeah, no, I mean a lot of people come to us. Maybe they're just getting started with partnerships, or maybe they have a huge team and they don't have time to like go out and evaluate a lot of the more like different solutions that are out there. They can come to us. They could get up and running within 15 minutes, connect, invite their partners, customize it. No, I've had people come to me and say, "Look, I really want to work with you guys. I can't hire a DevOps right now, or like I can't hire someone to come and do the implementation." And I look at them, I'm like, there's no need to do any of that. Like you shouldn't have to do any of that. Just come to us. We'll get it set up. Like bring your program to us. We'll set it up the way you need your program to look. We're not going to dictate your program and kind of tell you how you like to try to fit it into our model.
Right. What's the most interesting use case that you've seen? Because I have a lot of theories around directories and marketplaces and how it's kind of the front end of your ecosystem, right? So like the back end might be a crossbeam.
Yeah.
That was obviously a very valuable thing. Reveal just announced their $50 million Series A, which is bonkers.
I was just talking to them. That's crazy. Yeah.
Less than 50 employees, $50 million Series A. So if you don't think it's a partnerships moment, yeah, think twice.
For sure. Yeah.
So what about this front end, right? So like this is the storefront. This is where people are consuming what you have in terms of your partner ecosystem. What are some of the weird things that you've seen people try to do with that front end, like directory? Has it typically been just integration partners and service partners?
No.
Or are you starting to see things be like, we weren't expecting that?
Well, I mean, there's like the really weird random things that are even just like way outside of everyone that's here. One example would be like a university that's using it for their university ambassador program, where they're tracking student referrals. Another one is some companies use us for their investors for lead flow. So they actually use an entire portal. But I think the most interesting ones are the ones that are just like they just needed something straightforward, and they're using a bunch of spreadsheets, and they come over to us and just get it going. But yeah, it's interesting how many other industries are kind of catching wind of the partnership software that's available to them.
What's in terms of where you're connecting and like integrating to, like, so this front end you're keeping it simple, but obviously it gets more complex. The needs are growing over time. Where else are you plugging into with Partner Portal? Like, where are the other tangential nodes where it's like, hey, this is how portals can kind of evolve from like, hey, get something live. Where's the next phase?
Yeah, I mean, so we're actually more, if you think about it like a HubSpot, you've got like a partner fleet would be like a HubSpot CMS. We are like the HubSpot PRM. Like, so we're actually in the or CRM, HubSpot CRM. So we're more in the background. And so people are starting to use us as an extension of the data that they're getting now. Like if you look at Crossbeam, they've unlocked this whole second layer of data that just was never available to the community. And Bob's vision of where that data lives, it's going out to everybody, and everybody can access it and start to ingest it. So Crossbeam is our biggest partner in terms of where we have invested in terms of our integration and being able to pull in their data. And then there'll be other examples of that where we start
and then people can actually. So are you sending data from like how people are ingesting or interacting with these listings from the partner portal into like and like the background, the PRM side, the CRM side? Are you taking that stuff and then putting that back into Crossbeam and kind of going two ways yet?
Not yet. No. So this is the first version of the integration. Right now we pull in the overlap data from Crossbeam, so our customers can. Yeah, we're pulling it in, so our customers can see what are the overlaps and what are the populations, and they can see how many of those people or leads are actually registered in our portal. And so what they're finding is they'll have hundreds of overlaps, and it becomes the natural extension of where they can take action on it. So they'll register the leads with us, and it actually will push right into Salesforce, push right into HubSpot.
Amazing. So
Yeah,
that
yeah.
so then you're that layer where a partner manager can really orchestrate kind of like their day in the life, connect up Crossbeam, get data into
Yeah,
CRM,
yeah.
but then kind of like have the driver's seat, that thing that they haven't had before. Like there's lots of great tech tools out there, but it sounds like for the first time I can sit there and be like, okay, I'm a partner manager and I'm kind of in my own driver's seat on like what's happening.
Yeah, it depends what, like, partner managers wake up every morning and they have a different hat on, just like everybody else. And if they're in discovery mode, they're looking at their overlaps and Crossbeam. They're kind of planning and strategically planning their move. But when they're in to more of like an actionable mode or executing on that, they're hopping into PartnerPortal, and they can still have that data right there to action on it.
Amazing. I
Yeah,
love
yeah.
that there's all these different use cases popping up too, because uh, I have this theory that like lots of what's to come is not just like the partner, overlap or the partner opportunities, but let's say the partner value or the partner offers, right? Where you're actually able to actually take that to the next level and say, oh, here's our recommended partners, or here's like the bundle. Like, are you starting to see things that are like the next phase of partnerships coming down the pipe outside of these, funny use cases, but being like, hey, we want to group these partners together, or we want to recommend or push these partners this way based on some action or intent or data?
Yeah, no, that's definitely happening. What we're seeing is that people are operating in these, like, kind of what Alan will talk about, but these like little ecosystems of companies, to where they've broken off and they start becoming in a place where they're just interacting so frequently with each other. And we're exploring ways to begin kind of like hosting that a little bit more, where we could like take advantage of those ecosystems a little more. Um, most I would just to say I would actually want to mention we also most excited about our new metrics product, which is a new analytics, because that also unlocks a lot of functionality with that data.
So what kind of insights are being gleaned that you're like, wow, that for the first time, or like I wasn't thinking about this way? What kind of aha moments or eyebrow raisers are you seeing because of that?
Yeah, well, partner VPs of partnerships, partner leadership, partner leaders are using a number of different sources. They're pulling in a lot of number like data from different places. So right now we just show things like how many leads have you received, how many commissions, who's your best performing partner. But the future of all that is actually really interesting, really fun. Like if you start to pull in data directly from Gong or Chorus, like the use case like you guys have talked about with the keyword tracking, like that becomes that on that dashboard. We start to pull in overlap data from Crossbeam. We're in metrics is live, yeah, but we don't have Chorus Gong. All that stuff's not there yet.
But okay, well, what I love though is like people need to know how to pick that person that's seeing those things before they happen. Like that's a perfect in it. Like I would use that right away and be like,
yes,
live here. Like you ingest the Crossbeam data, and then here's the conversations that are happening in the field,
yeah,
and then you could orchestrate that from one.
you have, and then so from us, we already have partner source, and this gives us an opportunity to get into that partner influence metric and start to show that. And then yeah, with all these partner leaders moving more vertically in organizations, reporting to the CEO and reporting to the founder, they're going to need a central source of truth of what is happening in their program, whether it's us, whether it's another company here, or a collaboration of multiple companies. It needs to exist. Like people have to have that dashboard.
Well, I mean, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, none of this stuff existed.
It's crazy. Yeah, this is insane. I'm re-energized here.
I'm glad this happened in person.
Same. I like needed this. I woke up this morning fired up. And then, like just seeing everybody that I've gotten to know over the last 3 years and never meeting in person. I just think it was a really fun experience. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, Eddie, it was a pleasure to meet you. Thanks for
Yeah.
coming by
No,
the Partner
definitely.
Hacker booth.
Yeah, it's good chatting.
All right.
All right, man.